All right. Looks like we are live. And we'll just hang out for a second, see if we get some friends to come hang out with us. If not, we'll
Yay.
just talk to each other as we can probably do for hours.
Yeah. We haven't really had a chance to do that though.
Yeah,
We've been passing at parties and stuff. This is our chance to really get it in.
that's right. Play catch up.
Uh-huh.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Stephen Tyler Davis, for being on Break a Leg Huntsville today. I'm so grateful for you and everything you do for the arts. I'm so glad you're back in town, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So, I hope we get a lot of people hanging out with us today with our weather day, which
Yeah.
seems a little anticlimactic at the moment, but we'll see what
It's
happens.
okay. Everybody's off, so tune on in. Let's
Right.
chat.
For anyone that wants to check out, leave a comment for us, we're here for questions and everything. We're going to keep an eye on that. The way that Facebook works is if you want to make a comment without going through a little bit of a procedure, it's not going to tell us who you are. So if you want to send us a question or something, just sign your name to that because we want to know who you are and say hello because, most likely we know you and want to say hi. So y'all keep that in mind. We are on Facebook and several different places. We're on YouTube at Break a Leg Huntsville. If you are tuning in from any place, definitely go to breakaleghuntsville.com and join the Facebook group. So every time we go live, you can catch one of these. Fantasy Playhouse, we're streaming live there as well. Thank you, Fantasy, for letting us do that. So definitely like and follow that page so you can be in the loop on all the fun shows and everything that they have coming up, and definitely not miss anything in the future. We got a Facebook user saying hi. So hi, we don't know who you are, but thanks for joining us. Definitely sign your name there so we can give you full and proper shout outs. So I'll just hi, see. All right, Stephen. Well, I'm super excited to see Snow White and the Seven Littles this weekend. And I know I'll be even more excited when you tell me all about it here in just a minute. So do you want to start by just kind of sharing a little bit about the show and what it's about for those users that only have a 2-minute attention span and might move on?
Yes, sure. Well, first, thank you so much for having me, Shelby, and for your support of fantasy and our whole arts community. This is awesome. I'm so grateful to be part of it. So Fantasy Playhouse, we're bringing this new world premiere twist on a classic, Snow White and the Seven Littles, this weekend.
Exciting.
Yeah. It's so funny if you go back and look at a lot of the Grimm's fairy tales, Aesop's fables and stuff. They're very dark. They're very twisted. They are desperately in need of an update. So I said challenge accepted, and I'm excited to write this new fairy tale cycle. And hey, Donna. Hey, Karen. And so this is the first one. Snow White is not our princess who needs to be saved by a knight in shining armor. She is a boss. She is a city planner. She's a civil engineer. She's trying to dig a trench to get water to all of the people in Niceland.
Okay.
So that is her goal to try to help the folks. And we find out the true meaning of beauty through that. And as she's being kind of chased around by this evil queen trying to take her out, so the queen can be the most beautiful, as in the traditional Snow White story. We find out that the true meaning of beauty lies in our friends and community, and those that are inclusive, those that are celebrate diversity, those that focus on care and kindness and all of those things that we really try to be about at fantasy, and we try to weave those into the story. So that's what it is. It's a new twist, and it's not just kid stuff. I think that adults are really going to enjoy it too. I've put a lot of Easter eggs in there for them.
I was gonna say it sounds like one of the like Shrek or like one of those shows where you've got this like level up here and like then here's the kids back here and they don't get this and we don't care about that.
Right. Yes.
I love that. Well, that sounds like a really special, message and thing to be a part of. And you wrote this as well, not just directing, right?
Yes. Wow. It was fun. Before I took this job at Fantasy, Karen Mockensturm, our executive director, asked me to write a Snow White version. That whether I came and took the job or not, we were definitely going to put this show in the season. So I just went for it, and I was like, what is a message that little baby Stephen Tyler Davis would want to see in Huntsville, Alabama, growing up, And this was it. This is something that I really felt passionate about, in ways to weave in. It's just a great opportunity for kids. Like, it's a great teaching opportunity, a great learning opportunity. To, you just said a second ago, what's the 2-minute version for people who just have a 2-minute attention? Like, what an incredible gift it is for 300 people to come and sit in one space together for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And that to me is a huge, it's a wonderful resource. It's a wonderful gift. And what would I want to say to 90 people and 90 young minds, for that amount of time? And that's what this is that this
Yeah.
message, these characters, and these values that are kind of layered through the whole thing. So as a writer, that's what I wanted to tackle.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of scary to direct your own work. Usually as a writer, I like to pass it off and be like, so what do you think? Like, tell me what to cut.
Is that I feel like there's probably a lot of really interesting like pluses and minuses maybe with that. But one
Yeah.
of the things for me would be just, um, you know, I had this idea in mind and that's how I wrote it. And then when it starts to come to life, it looks like something else. And then I have to go, okay, do we try to make it the thing I wanted or has it become something better? You know?
Uh, that was exactly our process, Shelby. I mean, you totally hit the nail on the head, because you kind of have to, like, I can't be precious with anything.
Yeah.
You got to get in the room and just kind of trust the creative folks in there and see if it works or not, and be able to throw it in the garbage if it's not working.
Yeah.
And also, like, be generous enough to, like, when one of my, I mean, just last night in our, uh, 24 hours before we open, one of our incredible actors, Adeline, who I just absolutely adore, Adeline Creel. She's one of our fantasy students as well. She threw in a line last night that was like, "In the name of Niceland, what are you doing?" And it was so funny. And and in my head, I was like, "That is genius. I wish I had written that. Keep it." And also, like, it's going in the original script. I'm taking credit. I'm the writer. I just
Oh, you can give her a little blurb at the end, you
for a
know, PS.
little footnote. But, it's stuff like that. You find these great things just by getting to work in a room with creative people. So that gets folded into the creative process. And, these people are giving me a huge gift because they're helping me create my work. What is this version? What does it look like
Yeah,
on the page? It's awesome. It's been such a cool experience.
that's amazing. And just to see something that you've created like that come to life. Now, have you written anything before and gotten to have this experience before? Is this like an old hat to you or?
Yeah, I've been writing for a while. In
Okay.
fact, I got my writing start right here at Fantasy. I just found
Wow.
out that, um, the Lab 87 every once in a while is still doing a script that I wrote when I was 17 years old.
Oh
It's
my
yeah,
gosh, that's amazing.
it's a silly spoof of A Christmas Carol where the teacher is, where Mrs. Scrooge is the teacher who gives homework over Christmas break, and so she's
Rude.
haunted by the spirits. So, like, the Jacob Marley character is, instead of chains, it's like paper clips and writing assignments, and so it's a cute little 30-minute skit
Yeah.
that I wrote, and I found out just a couple of years ago that they're still doing it. So I started
Wow.
them. Then when I moved to New York, I started my own theater company, and quickly, I started the audition scene. I went up there to be a big Broadway star, and I was like, wait a second. This is not for me. I do not like auditioning. I do not like waiting for someone to give me an opportunity or to say that I'm good enough or that I'm right for a part. That, like,
Ooh, yeah.
drove me nuts. I was like, I'm a different kind of artist. I'm going to create my own work. I'm going to make my own way. I'm going to form my own company. And we're going to be these creative forces behind these projects instead of sitting here and twiddling our thumbs until a casting director is like, oh, yeah, you got it. No, not for me. So we started writing plays. I've written a couple of musicals, a couple of children's musicals, a show that was in the New York Musical Theater Festival, a couple of shows for high schools. I did a commission for Theater Tuscaloosa. I wrote the virtual Christmas Carol that Fantasy did a few years ago. I wrote that script and directed that as well. So
Wow.
I'm always continuing to sharpen my pencil. But yeah, this is not my first rodeo, but it has been one of the best experiences.
Well, you should have a pretty sharp pencil by now. And at such a young age, you've just accomplished a lot. I just think that's super awesome. Let's see who all said hi to us. I don't want anyone to feel unloved. We have Karen, Donna Kelly Foreman. Okay, we said hi to her.
Hey,
Hey, Stephen, the Jimerson family.
hi, Jimersons.
We got Karen
Aaron
Alexander.
Alexander, fantasy royalty.
I know, right? Bubba Little says hi.
That's my awesome ad libber.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I'm feeling the love. I just don't know who loves us. I would just say everybody.
It's so special. Everyone needs to see it. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It really is. It's been a really, really great team. As an artist, I'm super process focused. I'm not always looking at the finish line. I like to live in the mess of
Mhm.
the creative process. And so, as artists, we are often very product focused. It's like, when is opening night? Like, what are we going to do? What is the big idea?
Yeah.
And most theater artists make plans months and months and months ahead of time for what the show is going to be. And I'm a little bit backwards. I'm like, I don't know what the show is exactly going to be until we get all of these creative brains in the room. And then we're going to figure it out together.
Yeah.
And so with that, you have to make sure you have all of these great players on the team. And it seems like they're all here in this chat. We've got
I'll say, and you do.
together.
I've been following your Facebook, so we have
Yes.
a lot of really amazing. Huntsville has a lot of amazing talent,
It's
and you
incredible.
should be surrounded by it right now. And so you
Oh,
put
yeah.
yourself in a good place with that. Well, I thought, oh, there's Joanna. Speaking of, awesome
House.
talent.
Yes, process of our product. That's really what we're focusing on. Do people feel safe in a room? Do people feel creative and able to say what they want to say, to explore? Are we listening to each other and creating safe space for each other? And I feel like if my room is safe,
Yeah.
then my artist can feel safe to just be generous and try things and be excited about the work. And through that, what comes out of that every time is just like, mwah. It's very exciting.
Well, like anything with the process, like even
Yeah.
in my business, we try to be super organized, and we have a spreadsheet for our spreadsheets. Then there's this thing involved called humans, their wants and needs.
Oh,
And
yes, humans, yes.
humans. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you
okay.
have this weird thing that doesn't fit in my process. We love you. We'll make it work, And so
Everything's gonna be fine.
there's that whole element of surprise, that comes
Yeah.
with anything like that,
Just being ready to pivot at any moment.
Yeah. So, okay, so tell me a little bit more about you. So you've been all over, sounds like.
Mhm.
You grew up here?
Yeah, I
Born
actually
here?
I was born here. I was born at Huntsville Hospital in 1984. I'm 38. I didn't have I wasn't fortunate enough to go to like a magnet program at Lee or an awesome theater program at Grissom
Me either.
or Huntsville High or Bob Jones, or any of those fabulous programs. I was at Hazel Green High School out in the county with the farmers, and I love the farmers. The farmers are my family. But I not a lot of theater opportunities. So
Yeah.
it was actually us driving into town every night to come and be involved in fantasy shows or Huntsville Community Chorus shows, sometimes Renaissance theater, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I graduated from high school at Hazel Green, and then I went to the University of Alabama and studied theater there. And I was president of the theater honors fraternity there, Alpha Psi Omega. We ran guerrilla theater. It was a big, huge to do. I lucked out because when I was at Bama, we were terrible at football. It was the Mike Shula days. God bless his heart. And so theater was hugely popular.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to come see the shows because football stinks.
Right.
Right? So
Great timing for you.
Right? This is perfect. So the Crimson White, the big newspaper, did like top 100 things to do before you graduate. And number 1 was our guerrilla theater.
Oh,
Number
wow.
2 was Alabama football game. Very controversial.
That's amazing.
Then the Saban days happened and theater was back to the back burner, which is fine. Roll Tide.
Right.
But we
we just lost half our viewers, Stephen.
No, sorry.
Half the people just jumped off.
The house divided. War Eagle, Roll Tide. We can all do this together. Yeah. And so then I went to New York. And so I moved to New York City in 2007. and I've been there ever since. I did, as I said, I started my own theater company up there. I was a singing waiter on Broadway for about 8 years at Ellen's
Yeah,
Stardust Diner.
that's
So
amazing.
if
Um,
anybody went to New York between the years of like 2007 and 2014, I probably like sang Mamma Mia to you on a banquet or something while I served you a cheeseburger.
we should do that here, like have
We
a
could.
singing waiter, I don't know, fundraiser for something, and
We
like
totally
that
could.
could totally be it. There's so many people here that could totally just
Oh,
do that for a night anyway, you know?
oh, it'd be incredible, and I know how
Yeah,
to run it.
right?
We should do it.
There's an idea for whoever wants to steal it.
And Sylvie, I know you got a great voice, so you
Oh,
could be one of our vocalists.
hey.
How's
I
your balance on the tray? Can
oh,
you
yes,
can
I
you
have to
balance
go
a milkshake?
no.
All right, you can just be the singer. I'll do the serving and you sing.
People would be covered in milkshake, I guess.
I would actually pay big money for that. I would enjoy that better.
We'll make a dunk tank on the side. I'll have something to it.
So that was my kind of bread and butter job, and so I was making really great money as a singing waiter on Broadway, like sharing a wall with the Winter Garden Theater, like across the street from David Letterman and Wicked and Circle in the Square Theater, just right in the middle of all of it. I got
Wow.
to host all of their big Times Square New Year's Eve parties. I did all their Halloween parties. I hosted a bunch of events for them, and of course, I was a singing waiter during the week, and kind of made a that's how I supported myself. And then I went to grad school at Sarah Lawrence College, just right up the street. It's about a 25-minute train ride from Grand Central Station. It's just right north of Manhattan. I still lived in Manhattan the whole time, and I got my master's degree, and then Sarah Lawrence hired me right after I graduated.
Of
Awesome.
course. I mean, I would.
Well, thank you. And, I got to take a stab at being a college professor, and so I taught there for about 6 years. I ran their theater program. It's wonderful theater program, very different. Lots of experimental stuff, lots of new work, lots of original work. We
Wow.
very rarely did published works. It was all new student stuff. So I was just right there in my element, always cranking out new stuff.
Yeah.
And then so I was their theater program manager, and still working professionally in New York. And then Huntsville called, and I was thinking about, maybe it's time to come home. I've got these beautiful, sweet nieces, Nora and Avi, here in Huntsville, and my family, and my sweet grandma, who's my bestie, is getting older. We had moved her to a nursing home here, so I was like, you know what? The stars are aligning. It's time to go, and I am so glad that I came. I have had the best time in Huntsville. I love it. I love it here.
I'm so glad to hear that. I always wonder when people, I think you should get out and do something different. And especially those of you that want to, go to New York and have your moments,
Yeah.
or a lifetime, whatever that is. I feel like for most people, they go and they do it and they like,
Mhm.
okay, that was great. And okay, let's do something else now.
That was a really fun 15 years. I
Yeah.
did it. I check. Had a great time.
I love that. Yeah. Well, and now you have so much life experience and theater experience that you can bring, back here. And
Thanks,
I
Shelby.
we have such a strong theater community in all across, and just so much talent. I mean, I talk to people moving here all the time. In
Yeah.
fact, and someone in my own office, she was like, "I'm so glad you're doing this break a leg thing. I didn't know there was theater here." And I was like, "Oh
Ah,
my gosh, I have failed
thanks
you."
so
Like, I
much.
have trouble making it to see all the things that my awesome friends are in,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so there's definitely theater, a lot
Yes, there
of it,
definitely is.
so she was
You're our missing link, Shelby. We need you to connect us to the people.
well, I just think we'll just keep getting the word out
Yeah.
and have those seats full. And I kind of snooped on your ticket sales. It looks like if people want to still come see the show and don't have a ticket yet, they may need to get on there right now.
Like,
They
right
may
this
be out of luck.
Yeah, like
Congratulations.
we were closing the office today because of weather, but our executive director Karen is up there right now answering phones because we just couldn't because people are wanting to buy tickets to the show.
Yeah.
And we're only one weekend right now, so we want to make sure
Yeah.
that people don't miss it.
And if they want to do that online from their house, they can just fantasyplayhouse.org, right?
Yep, you can just
Okay.
follow the buttons; it'll take you right there. And but yeah, ticket sales are looking great, and we're very excited. I wanted to make sure that we're bringing the fantasy magic, and I think that we really are with this show. We've got
Mhm.
a lot of fun little little theater tricks that I think the kids are really gonna love. The way we're doing the water is really cool, and we've got fireflies and
What?
yeah, like, just like little
Yeah.
cutesy stuff that I think really kind of brings the theater magic to life there in that space.
I think one thing that would be neat to share is just that the seven littles are literally seven littles, like seven children. Because I think that kids like to watch kids do the show,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and like you said, there's a wonderful storyline for grown-ups too. But I think that's something that I thought was really neat and a lot.
Yeah, yeah. We're kind of past the for me, like, we're done with the dwarfs. I'm done. I don't need the dwarfs to tell this story. For me, the themes of why the dwarfs were there or was about othering, was about someone different than the mainstream.
Mm,
What is that? How's that connected to our conversations around privilege and bullying and othering?
mhm.
And so that's really what we wanted. So I wanted specifically my little family to not be the same. I did not want them to be all the same size or the same height.
Mhm.
I did, like you said, I wanted some kids in there. I wanted little ones. We
Yeah.
even have a little that's kind of like the matronly, like the kind of mother of the littles. So it's all different shapes, sizes, and ages for the littles. But all the thing that connects them is that they have all been kind of excluded from this village, and they have to travel 20 miles into the village every day to get water, just to eat,
Oh my goodness.
just to drink. And so what does it mean when we got people out there that aren't being taken care of? And who are those people? What are their needs? Why are they being set off on an island by themselves?
Yeah.
And that's why Snow is our hero, because she sees that and she's like, I'm getting water to these people. They're just as important as the queen and everybody else in Niceland. And so how do we combat othering? How do we combat bullying? How do we combat people who aren't don't have a seat at the table?
Yeah.
Those are big, big social themes that we're talking about at every level in business and government and society and in our classrooms. And but we're talking about right here on stage at Fantasy too. We can tackle the
Yes.
big
I love
stuff.
that.
We can tackle the big stuff, but
Yeah.
and weave it into these really simple, beautiful stories. It's exciting.
Well, it's a great way to get a message across
Mhm.
without beating somebody over the head with it either,
Right.
So
Right.
they can have their own little aha moment while
Yeah.
you're
I'm just gonna present it. Take it or
right,
leave it. Yeah.
right. Was there anything else super special about the show that, like, maybe your favorite part or something that you just really want people to know that maybe we didn't talk about? That was my thing. I just think it's so cool that the littles are mostly kids. So
Well, another thing that was important to me is that, in so many of our traditional stories, especially in Western civilization, the idea of beauty is centered around white skin. Our princess is always white, and and there are lots of beautiful white princesses. I'm not taking anything away from them. We've got beautiful princesses that look like lots of different things, different colors, different shapes, different sizes, different genders, everything. Everybody can be royalty, right?
That's right. Mhm.
So my number one thing is I wanted to decenter the idea of beauty as white skin. Skin is out. Skin is out of the picture. So our Snow White is all about her white hair.
Wow.
So we have this incredible wig designer, Jackson Clifton, who's a genius, Alabama A&M graduate, artist in his own right, has created these incredible wigs that
Oh,
are
wow.
amazing. Everybody has a fabulous wig, including Snow, who has these beautiful locks of white hair.
Wow.
So the whole driving force behind the beauty is not her white skin, it's her white hair. So we just get that out of the way to begin with.
I love that.
Um,
Plus, you're
and
making me feel really cool right now
you are beauty, you're
with my
beautiful with
white
your
hair.
white hair. I see it. So then so then changing the littles, changing it to white hair,
Yeah.
and then my favorite thing about this process is that we all get to create this world together. It is not Niceland is not inspired by any ethnicity, any region. It is a totally otherworldly where people have funky clothes and funky hair, and the forest glows UV, and like it's
Ooh.
they have different ways of doing things, different ways of speaking. We got to completely make this thing up from
I
scratch.
love it.
What does it look like? What does it sound like? And so getting to be in a room with an incredible family of volunteer. You remember, okay, fantasy is driven by volunteers, incredible, hardworking, creative, dedicated volunteers. Okay. And they blow me away every day. They just, oh, it's just incredible. So we got all these folks in here in this room, and it's like, okay, we're going to make this. And nobody has ever done it before. Nobody's ever seen it before. We don't know what it looks like. We're going to make it up together.
Yeah.
And so everybody has been so incredibly creative and generous. Kat, our costume designer, my incredible directing team, just throwing in these awesome ideas. Stella Foreman, our makeup designer, the makeup design is otherworldly.
Yeah.
We get to make up our own space.
Yeah.
And that was the coolest thing about this process. What does Niceland look like? It looks like all of us.
Is it like Niceland or
Nysland.
Nice.
Niceland.
Okay. Where did that come from?
I did a bunch. That's a hard question, but
Don't know.
I did a bunch of research.
Yeah.
It's connected to like some Greek words that mean other things. I'll have to go back. That was about a year ago of research. That was like the first thing that I studied.
Yeah.
But there's a whole kind of idea of where I came up with these words. But yeah, Niceland it's original.
I love it. Well, I can't wait to see it Sunday. Sounds like you have amazing support. Joanna wanted us to mention lots of student designers as well, which is amazing.
So great. Ruby Hudgens, our stage manager, and then Max Foreman, our sound designer. Lots of folks embodying the learning of how to make theater right on this show. It's cool.
That's amazing. Well, I hope everyone watching this goes to see it, and I hope they have their tickets. So I think I got 2 of the last seats together for Sunday. Just
yes.
I was like, oh no, I haven't. Quick. It was almost too late, I think. So you had a great turnout, great people surrounding you, and I'm just super excited for you. I'm glad you're back in Huntsville and sharing your magic with us. So
thanks. I'm so glad to be here. I'm so grateful. I love you, and I love Huntsville, and it's just really wonderful to be here. Thanks for everybody's support, and we can't wait to see you this weekend.
That's right. And I'll see you there, and can't wait. And break a leg.
I will break a leg, Huntsville.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye,
you.
y'all. Thanks.